McWhorter Custom Rifles presents.
Boy, I love this 7.65 PRC and these Hornady bullets. Welcome back, folks. This week I'm headed to deep South Texas to hunt some of those monsters down there in the brush country. You don't want to miss this.
Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Zeiss Hunting, Forge Carbon Stocks, Hornady Ammunition, Atlas Development Group, and Great Horizon Ranch.
So I got a real good friend and customer in South Texas who just loves him some McWhorter rifles. He's got big bucks, we got great rifles, so it was time to do some dealing. Typical South Texas red dirt, oil country type property. A lot of brush, low-lying brush, a lot of thickets where the deer have plenty of insulated cover to stay in. He's got about a 50-acre irrigated field on his place. He grows cowpeas in the summertime for the deer, and then he sows it up to wheat in the wintertime. Just a great place to grow monster Texas bucks. Well, we're finally to November. Halloween was last night. It's November the 1st, and we're headed to deep South Texas. We got some real good bucks on camera down here in South Texas. Get everything put up and get ready to hunt in the morning. We're in deep South Texas. My buddy's been sending me pictures pretty much for 3 or 4 months of all these big bucks that he's got on his place there, and me and my cameraman Russell are just chomping at the bit to get in the blind the first morning. So opening morning gets here, we eat breakfast, we have a little discussion about where we're gonna hunt and what bucks we're looking for, and he tells me that he's got this really big 6x6 that's probably in the neighborhood of 180 inches that will be the buck that we're kind of looking for. He's 5 or 6 years old, and a buck that he's determined is old enough to shoot, so we're hoping that we're gonna be able to catch this buck on the first morning, if not the first afternoon. First morning, we got a pretty good buck came out. That's a mainframe 5x4 with split twos. Pretty heavy, looks like a 5-year-old. Real pretty good deer, just not the deer we're looking for, and a couple other young bucks and a few does. So good start to the first morning. Here comes another deer out right now. We looked at him for quite a while. It was the first day. Although he was a great buck, I decided to pass on him. Even though he was big enough and old enough, he just wasn't that 6x6 that I was looking for. Well, I think we're going to call it for the first morning sit. We saw a good many deer. We just didn't see one of the target bucks that we were after. So a couple of deer that were young that are going to be real good in a couple of years, but not the target buck that we're after. It's movement wasn't great, and we had some cows come in on us, so you know, usual complications. The weather's not cooperating a whole lot. I don't think it was about 65 this morning. It's going up to about 90 today. So typical South Texas stuff though. So we're gonna We'll go back, check some cameras possibly, and 4 o'clock this afternoon we'll be back in the blind. All right, so after lunch, we did a little thinking and decided where we were going to hunt. The wind had changed a little bit, so we went to another blind that's on the bottom side, on the south side of a creek bottom. And it's an elevated blind that Russell and I had hunted before, so we climbed up there. We got in there plenty early. Well, it's the first afternoon out here in South Texas, and we changed locations. We went to got another stand that's usually a food plot, but it's been so dry out here this year. It's just a long, wide sendero basically, and we got it fed, and I got a feeder out here. So just waiting to see what we see on this one. There's several good bucks pictures on here. They're mostly nighttime, but we're ready to go.
This segment is brought to you by Board & Accuracy, makers of the most accurate custom hunting actions on the market. Manufactured in the USA to true bench rest tolerances. Board & Accuracy equals success.
The senderos got fed, and wasn't long before we had deer everywhere. I mean, we had does, we had young bucks, we had older bucks that weren't big enough to shoot. We just had multiple deer. I bet we saw 25 or 30 deer that afternoon. And as they usually do, most of the food in the sendero gets eaten, so they move on to greener pastures, and all the deer had cleared off the sendero in front of us, which is on the edge of a food plot, which because of the drought this year, was not planted. So we're pretty much thinking we got 15, 20 minutes left, and we're thinking it's over for the day. So we start looking around and actually fixing to start putting stuff up. There's a deer right there. There's a buck too. Dude, that's a nice, Allan. That's a nice freaking deer. And this huge 6x6 that we wanted to shoot from the get-go steps out from the left, walks across this open area that would have been a food plot under wetter conditions. You got him, Russell. Oh, that's a big one. Dang. Oh-wee. Oh-wee. Ooh, a big old mature buck. Wide, heavy. I think he's a 6x6, but he is big. Man, he is. That's a great buck right there. 6.5, necked up to 7mm, our 7.65 with 175 grain Hornady ELDX going about 3,000 feet a second. Only the second or so deer I've ever shot suppressed, shooting that banished suppressor, and he didn't go. However long his legs are, that's how far he went. So he went straight down his track. I didn't get to look at him much. I mean, I can't tell you for sure. He's a big typical. He didn't have a bunch of junk on him, and he's mature. So all that equals a bullet. Look at this joker. Whoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo. Pretty buck. Pretty buck. Wow. That's him. That was the one we're after. Well, this doesn't happen very often, getting your target buck on the very first day. We thought it was over today. We saw a good buck cross to the south, and he never did come in, so we figured he went to the oat fields. And pretty much all the deer that we had seen had gone to the south, you know, to migrate onto the oat field. And this guy came in about the last 15, 20 minutes from the north. He stopped out there about 205 yards and pointed the shoulder, took that Hornady and put it there, and he went straight down. Just bang flopped him, and what a buck. I mean, just old Texas buck, got everything, long tines, long beams, mass. We shot him with our 7.65 PRC boarding action, the new Zeiss 2.8 to 20 by 56. Just one of the most beautiful bucks I've ever shot down here in South Texas. So thank you, Lord Jesus, for letting me chase these magnificent animals. It never gets old.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by McWhorter True Precision Long Range Hunting and Shooting School, Leo Photo USA, Brooks Barrels, Trigger Tech, Hawkins Precision, and Borden Accuracy.
So now it's January, and I'm pretty much thinking that my whitetail season is over for the year, and the phone rings, and apparently my buddy had been looking at the website, and guess what? He wants another gun, a lighter gun to do some mountain hunting with, and he gives me a call and he says, hey, I still got a couple of really big bucks that are super old that I'd like to get shot. Why don't we do some trading? So I'm pretty easy. If you got big bucks, I got plenty of guns. So we made a deal. I got him a gun laid out for him that we were going to build for him after the hunt, and headed back to South Texas. So on short notice like this, and right after the holidays, it's kind of hard to find a cameraman. Everybody's pretty much sitting back knowing things are pretty much over for the whitetail season. So I decided I would go down and self-film. And if you've watched some of the stuff in the past, you can tell the ones that I film versus the ones we got a real cameraman with us, because I might get the kill shot, but I don't get a whole lot of other stuff. But nonetheless, I'm headed to South Texas. I got my Z150 with the autofocus on, and I'm ready to go find another big buck. Welcome back, folks, to this week's True Precision Tip of the Week. This week we're going to talk about triggers.
Mr. Allen, how important is the trigger to a custom build?
You can take the most precise shooting system in the world, and if you don't have a good trigger in it, it's all for nothing. Factory triggers, most of those are 3 to 5 pounds. They got a pile of creep, they got a pile of over travel, and they just won't allow you to make consistently precise shots, which is what we do at McWhorter Custom Rifles. I mean, to a man, every guy that's ever come to us to the shop to pick up his gun, we get him out on the range, we make him dry fire, and to a man, they get behind a 1.5 pound trigger, they pull it, and they go, ooh, boy, that's light, because they're not used to that at all. I get them to dry fire 4 or 5 more times, a few shots down range. After that, they would never have anything else, and most of them shoot very well just because they got a better trigger in the gun. So to answer your question, the trigger is one of the most important parts of a precision shooting system.
And I know with these Trigger Tech triggers right here, they run off a frictionless system, right? They're completely sealed, no friction in them. Really, they have no creep. So it's a clean, smooth break every time. And these guys being a sealed trigger, I know for me, being a backcountry hunter, I'm always constantly worried about water, grime, dirt, even oil overspray getting in my trigger and freezing. And so having your trigger fail on you in the moment of truth is the worst time to have your trigger fail.
Before we use these before, I've had to stop in the middle of a hunt and flush mine out with lighter fluid just to keep hunting.
I can tell you the difference between, here at the shooting school, the difference between a good shooter and a great shooter is what they do on their trigger.
Absolutely. Trigger Tech's the finest trigger we ever used. They come in several different models, several different colors, different pound ranges. The diamond and the gold one are 4 ounces to 32 ounces. And this trigger, this special trigger, is 1 to 3 pounds. anything over 3 pounds, in my opinion, is just not conducive in a precision shooting system. So Trigger Tech triggers, we love them, they're very important, and that's your tip of the week, brought to you by Allan and John.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Armageddon Gear, Mesquite Creek Taxidermy, Hell's Canyon Barrels, Gun Foam, Boyd Harness Company, and Metal Spinning Targets. This segment is brought to you by Atlas Development Group, makers of the finest premium rifle cartridge cases on the market. Proudly made in the USA. Our stringent manufacturing process and raw materials yield superior results.
Well, it's January the 13th, a Monday, and I am on my first morning back here in South Texas, hunting with a good friend and rifle customer. Just hunting a buck that I didn't find on the first trip, and he wanted me to come down here because he wants another rifle, and I want to kill this buck. So the buck I'm after is a big 6x6 that's 5 or 6 years old, and he's a really good deer. Just gonna be hard to kill here late season, but he's got a few pictures of him here where I'm at. I'm in a Sendero in the northwest part of the ranch here, and I am ready if we see a big South Texas buck step out. The buck I'm looking for, he's just a crazy fighter. He hadn't busted his rack, but he's broken his left ear, I believe, so he'll be easy to recognize if I see him. So it's about 35 degrees, a little wind out of the north here, so good morning, other than the full moon, so we'll see what happens.
So my friend shows me a 6-year-old buck. We think he's right around that 170 mark. He's just not gonna get any bigger, and this is the buck that we're gonna target for this hunt. Being January, the rut's over, he's gonna be pretty patternable. And my buddy had been feeding this Sendero and this feeder there for several weeks after we talked about the rifle. So we had a good idea where he was going to be. So first morning, eat a good breakfast, get out there super early. I climb up in the blind, get my Z150 all ready. Got Senderos to my right, Senderos to my left where I can see 300 or 400 yards. Got a little feeder in the front. I'm ready to make a long shot on either one of these Senderos. And about 30 minutes after light, there's my target buck, walks out at about 90 yards. I get my Armageddon bag on the front of the hard blind, get my sticks in the back, just waiting for a good broadside shot. I finally decide that I've got enough footage to satisfy my producer. The buck gives me a perfect broadside shot.
Well, I think I made a good shot. I had both shoulders, and I think I put it right through both of them. So 7.65 PRC. I think he's gonna be piled up over there, 30, 40 yards. Give me 5, Allan.
Boy, you can't beat these big monster South Texas buck. This one's a perfect 6x6. He's 5.5 years old. We've got a couple of busted points here and there, but it's January and he's had a hard year. This rifle that I use today is my trusty 7.65 PRC. It shoots 175 grain Hornady ELDX, about 2,950 or 60 feet a second. 24-inch Brooks barrel. Got the new Zeiss 2.8 to 20 by 56 on it. Just the best scope I've ever shot. I'm so blessed to get to chase these big whitetails. South Texas is a special place, and I'm just glad my buddy likes our guns as much as I like his deer. I love hunting whitetails all over the country, but South Texas, I'll have to say, is one of my favorite spots. Over the years, me and the producer and several of our other guys have done very good in South Texas. It's getting harder and harder to find good spots, but as long as my buddy has got this thirst for rifles, I think I got a good spot I can go to every year.